Welcome to our Advanced Slide Transitions in PowerPoint tutorial. I'm Les McCarter from PowerUp Training, where my decades of experience becomes your expertise for free. If you're new to transitions, then consider going to our first tutorial in this series that is listed above. But you are at the right spot if you need to understand the details of controlling your slide transitions. Take a look at these topics listed here at the preview of what we're going to cover, including a trick you won't find elsewhere on how to create a custom transition based on your own creative ideas. And at the end, I'm going to provide 5 pro tips from my decades of presenting PowerPoint to audiences small and large. So let's power up to get going on advanced slide transitions in PowerPoint. We're working on a Windows PC using the latest Office 365, but this will work the same on a Mac and all the way going back to PowerPoint 2013. I'm going to be using a pre-built tutorial presentation slide deck, which you see from a bird's eye view with the slide sorter view. I love this view as I can find the slide I want to focus on and just double click to switch to the focused standard view. From here, we're selecting the Transition tab on the ribbon menu. If you've not used transitions before or you want a solid grounding, do look for our introduction YouTube tutorial listed above. As a refresher, if you hover your mouse over a transition, it will give you a pop-up hint of what the transition will do. For the selected uncover, PowerPoint explains that it will move the previous slide out of the way quickly and reveal the current slide. Remember, transitions are applied to the entrance of the selected slide, not the exit. As I've commented in previous tutorials, transitions look best in real life. Over the internet, such as this YouTube tutorial or live Zoom video conferencing meetings, the effects gets lost in the pixelated video transmissions. So I'll be slowing down some of these effects to make them more obvious in our tutorial. Look at how I increase the duration of the effect. So let's see this in slideshow mode. But wait, if I click the top left slideshow jumpstart icon, I'll have to go through 13 slides from the beginning to see our transition. So instead, let's use this pro tip to click the bottom right corner slideshow icon to start the slideshow from the currently selected slide. And to witness the transition, I want to start on the slide just before the slide I want to examine. So now in slideshow mode, with one click, our desired slide slides over from right to left. Recall, I purposely slowed down the transition, but now that we're aware that there is a timing associated to the transition, it's important to note that different transition effects have different time durations. Look as I select several different choices and watch the changing time durations. So, specific longer duration transitions may be more appropriate for video conferencing. Now, let's examine deeper controls we have over specific effects. Depending on the selected transition, there are additional effect options that we control by clicking the down arrows of the effect option. With a split transition, we can elect to have the split move in or out for both the vertical and horizontal directions. And pay close attention to the effect option icon appearance, as it will change based on the selected transition effect. As I choose Uncover, the icon changes, as does the appearance, and a whole new set of decision controls. The same for the selection of random bars, with the new effect option icon and more control choices specific to this effect. And with the shape effect selected, we have 3 different shapes to choose from, plus inwards and outwards. But not all effects have option modifiers, such as when we select curtains, it's just the effect and no other modifications. Now on to another advanced feature, or should I call it a pitfall? By default, all slide transitions are kicked off by way of a mouse click. If we turn off this tick mark and leave on mouse click empty, we can get ourselves into trouble. Watch. Moving into the slideshow on the previous slide, once I enter into the cupcake, click, click, click does not move me to the next slide. The only way is to hit the space bar or the right arrow key or hit the escape key to escape completely. So you might want to just leave this untouched. But right below this choice is an automation control where you can automatically advance the slide based on a setting of seconds. So maybe you want to make sure you don't advance with the mouse click and just have it wait for the automated advance based on time. So let me advance it to a 4-second wait. And it's good to know that you don't have to turn on or off the on mouse click. They are not related. And then I'm going to go to the previous slide and test this out. And in this slideshow, we move to that slide and 1, 2, 3, 4, transition without a click. So let's get fancy and combine some of our new skills to create a unique transition that does not exist in PowerPoint. We'll combine 2 transitions into one with a blank slide between and some automation. I'll add a new slide after the cupcake slide. I'll right click on it and change the layout to blank, and then right click on the blank slide itself and choose Format Background and turn on Hide Background Graphics. This will create a visual buffer slide between our soon to be created doubly applied transitions. Our transition number 1 will be Uncover, moving the new blank slide from right to left. And then the next following slide, we will do the same by choosing Uncover. To make it unique, we're going to alter it so that it goes from left to right. So let's go test it out in the slideshow mode. So here's our first transition going from right to left, and then the second transition going left to right. That was cool, but we can improve upon it. We want to speed up the in-between blank slide by automating it with an advance after 0.5 seconds. For an in-person presentation, I would make it even shorter for a cooler effect. Now, let's go try it out again. So I launched the slideshow. This time, when I do a single click, it will automatically advance and then automatically advance again. So we just combined 2 transitions with some additional automation to make our own customized slide transition. So now go use your own imagination to create your own personalized, specialized effects. On to our last section, 5 pro tips for managing transitions in your professional presentation. Consider changing the transition duration speed based on the effect, especially if you're presenting online, or if on stage, speeding up some of the slower transitions. Tip number 2, if you're presenting online or recording your presentation for future use, avoid the more action-oriented transitions as the effect will get lost in the recording process. Tip number 3, avoid the sudden jolt of ending a slideshow with an empty screen. It's not uncommon that you get so excited about reaching the end that you click the advance button and hit the black void ending screen, which is awkward if you then have to answer questions. So create a better ending by duplicating your title slide. Let's take a look. Let me demonstrate the black void. I'm going to escape out. I'm going to go to the last slide. I'll launch the slideshow mode. And then with the click on the last slide, we then run into the empty end of show, click to exit message. So the elegant pro trick is to duplicate the title slide. In slide sorter mode, I'm going to go to the first slide. I'm going to right click on it. I'm going to choose duplicate slide. And then like a game of solitaire, I'm going to click and drag it to the end. Then heading back to the transition menu, I'm going to get a nice subtle fade transition, and we're ready to test it out. So if this was our slideshow, when the final summary slide pops up on the screen and I'm through with it, I can click one more time and up pops the title slide that I can leave on the screen for questions or to be able to escape out completely. And now to continue back to our tips with my personal dislike of sound effects. PowerPoint lets you add sound to your transitions, but I think it's a cheesy trick and a hassle to get right, as you have to be all set in advance to make sure that the sound is playing out of your computer using the right output and at the right volume. My tip: skip it. Strategy number 5: consistency. Use the same or similar transition for the whole presentation. The goal is not to entertain your audience between slides, as it is the contents of each slide that should be the star. If your audience is noticing the transitions, then it's probably not right. My last rule is that sometimes you need to break the rule, and this is not a consistent, calm transition. If you're introducing a new radical idea slide or a new presenter, then do use a more excitable transition to indicate the change of pace. There you go. You're now a master of everything PowerPoint transitions. If this was useful, then like it and share it out with your coworkers and friends. Do leave comments and ideas below in the comment sections of YouTube. Do subscribe, as that encourages me to make even more free tutorials for you. And look for our other tutorials, including the 10 built-in transitions, and even more can be found in our YouTube transition playlist, where there will be added specialty tricks and techniques focused only on PowerPoint slide transitions. If you want a complete PowerPoint training school, visit our website of power-up.training for everything about PowerPoint. Until next time, go power up.